Grand Rising, and welcome to another segment of CLG Viewpoint, segment number 68. My name is Lorraine Grais, and I am so honored to have you here today. Today, it is May 16th, 2025, and that is Friday, the end of the week. In the Kingdom of Canada, Divina Industria, Divine Life, Day 18, year 0035. Today we'll be covering under health sense, cancer can't get a grip on your body when your liver is working, and grounding. International news, China launches first of 2,800 satellites for AI space computing constellation. Under local news, police in BC say 3 face charges over stolen beer, food, and toilet paper. Lithium batteries, a concern, and massive fire near Courtenay. Firefighters from 5 departments were on the scene. BC drug trafficker sentenced to prison for dial-a-dope operation. And more supportive housing opens to help homeless in Nanaimo. Well, each segment, I like to start with a sage clearing. I have a sage stick here, which I grow in my garden, as you know. And some of you aren't familiar with this process. What I do is clear all the negative energies out of our space and from the segment. So, to all low energy entities, you're sent back to your perfect place. Only divine love and divine light is welcome here. And so it is. Divine gratitude and thank you. Now, on to the 2 videos. The first one is cancer can't get a grip on your body when your liver is working.
Cannot get a hold on the body if the liver's working in optimum performance. And the liver is the only organ in the body that has the ability to regrow. Your liver is under your right rib, and if it's not happy when you push it, it'll go, don't. So environmental poisons coming into the body, everything goes straight to the liver. And if it's toxic, the liver says, whoa, nasty guy, wrap him up in fat and store him. And if the liver looks at it and says, no, we can break that down to a state that can be easily released, that is what it will do. The first place that the liver will send the glucose, number 1, is to the cell to be burnt as fuel. But on a high carbohydrate diet, you got a lot of glucose left over. And so now the body stores it. It's called glycogen. They're little molecules of glucose just sitting in your muscle cell waiting to be used. I call glycogen the diabetic's best kept secret. Because if blood sugar goes low, what do? Get on the exercise bike. Release your glycogen stores.
And now onto my second video on grounding.
Figure out how much charge the body takes in when you touch the earth. What happens is the body saturates with electrons practically instantaneously. It's so fast that you can't measure it. So electrons from the earth enter the body right away, and they coat the red blood cells so that the cells repel each other. And then they can't clump, and the blood viscosity goes down. It's easier for the heart to pump the blood. The blood pressure goes down. All kinds of cardiovascular issues, they go away.
And now on to international news. China Space News. Written by Andrew Jones, May 14, 2025. China launches first of 2,800 satellites for AI space computing constellation. Helsinki, China launched 12 satellites early Wednesday for an orbit computing project led by startup ADA Space and Zhong Lab. A Long March 2D rocket lifted off at 12:12 a.m. Eastern, May 14th, from Jiuguan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China. Installation tiles fell away from the payload fairing as a rocket climbed into a clear blue sky above the spaceport. The China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation, CASC, announced a fully successful launch, revealing the mission to have sent 12 satellites for a space computing constellation into orbit. Commercial company ADA Space released further details, stating that the 12 satellites form the three-body computing constellation, which will directly process data in space rather than on the ground, reducing reliance on ground-based computing infrastructure. The constellation will be capable of a combined 5 peta operations per second POPs, POPS, with 30 terabytes of on-board storage. The satellites feature advanced AI capabilities up to 100 Gbps laser inter-satellite links and remote sensing payloads, data from which will be processed on board, reducing data transmission requirements. One satellite also carries a cosmic X-ray polarimeter developed by Guangxi University and the National Astronomical Observatories of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, which will detect, identify, and classify transient events such as gamma ray bursts, while also triggering messages to enable follow-up observations by other missions. ADA Space claims the 12 satellite represents the world's first dedicated orbital computing constellation. This marks a shift from satellites focused solely on sensing or communication to ones that also serve as data processors and AI platforms. The constellation is a part of a wider star compute program, a collaboration between ADA Space and Zhong Lab, which aims to build a huge on-orbit network of 2,800 satellites. The company says the constellation can meet the growing demand for real-time computing in space, as well as help China take the lead globally in building space computing infrastructure, seize the commanding heights of this future industry. Development could mark the beginning of space-based cloud computing as a new capability, as well as open a new arena for strategic competition with the U.S. The ability to reduce bottlenecks for data from space and other capabilities could have potential economic, scientific, and military implications. While the US and Europe have tested edge computing in space, China's collaborative effort appears to be the first to deploy a purpose-built AI constellation at scale. ADA Space, full name Chengdu Guizhou Aerospace Technology Company Limited, was established in 2018 and focuses on AI-driven satellite technology and space-based computing. In January, it filed for an initial public offering on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Zhong Lab in Hangzhou was established in September 2017 as a collaboration between Zhejiang Provincial Government, Zhejiang University, and Alibaba Group. The aim is to advance China's capabilities in fields such as AI, intelligent computing, and big data. The Star Compute program also involves partnerships with a range of companies, including Softstone and Kapu Cloud, which will contribute to the development of ground-based computing centers and AI platforms that complement the space-based components of the initiative. The program could play into China's national new infrastructures initiative, as well as the country's aim to be the globally AI leader by 2030, with space as the potential arena in which this can be applied. The mission was China's 26th orbital launch attempt of the year. It follows the TJS-19 and Yaogan 4002 missions in recent days, lifting off from Zhejiang and Taiyuan spaceports, respectively. A Zhuke 2E launch is scheduled for early Thursday, May 15th, from Jiuguan from a Series 1 solid rocket set to launch from a sea platform off the coast of Shandong Province, May 19th. A Long March 7A from Wenchang is expected May 20th, and a Kinetica 1 solid rocket to follow from Xinguan, May 21st. The launch of the Tianwen 2 near Earth asteroid sample return and main belt comet mission from Zhejiang Spaceport is scheduled between May 28th to May 30th, 2025. Now, on to the video. My personal thoughts. There is so much advanced progress in space technology, and especially in the expansion of satellites into space. Do you think that in the near future that Homo sapiens, that's us, will be traveling to the moon or maybe Mars? Something to think about. Local news. Canadian Press, May 15, 2025. Police in BC say they face charges over stolen beer, food, and toilet paper. In Burnaby, Mounties in Burnaby, BC have recovered pallets of beer, food, and enough toilet paper and paper towels to supply a town in an investigation into theft of shipping containers. RCMP say in a news release that 3 containers that held merchandise worth about $125,000 were stolen last August from a business in the city. They say the empty containers were found on a property in nearby Port Coquitlam a week later, but no arrests were made. Then in November, police say another container was stolen from the same business with about $60,000 worth of goods. Police say they used a warrant to search a warehouse in Surrey in February and found a semi-truck, forklift, 51 pallets of toilet paper, 42 pallets of paper towels, 2 pallets of beer, and 5 more of food. The RCMP says 3 men, ranging in age from 40 to 54 years of age from the Lower Mainland, face numerous potential charges, including theft, trafficking in property obtained by crime, and possession of property obtained by crime. My personal thoughts. All charges laid. should go under the auspices of natural law in the Kingdom of Canada. Now, on to Comox Record, written by Gord Grais, May 14, 2025. Lithium batteries, a concern and massive fire near Courtenay. Firefighters from 5 departments were on the scene. A massive warehouse fire in Oyster River Wednesday morning required the resources of 5 departments to help contain the situation. The emergency of Talum River Road was paged out shortly after 10 a.m. and was responded to by fire crews from Oyster River, Merville, Cumberland, Courtenay, and Comox. Campbell River sent down crews to act as a standby crew in case other fire crews were needed in the area. Quote, when we arrived on scene, the flames were coming through the roof, shooting 20 to 30 feet in the air, so it quickly became a defensive fire, close quote. Oyster River Fire Rescue Chief Bruce Green says. The fire was in a warehouse measuring 12 meters wide by 37 meters long, according to Green. The fire was going so bad we couldn't go inside, so it was just put water on the outside and protect what we could save, he says. Those nearby savable items included a trailer at one end of the building, along with an office. One source told media that the owner of the warehouse is a solar panel engineer and that there were vehicles stored in the building. Green wasn't sure what was inside the structure at the time of the fire, but acknowledged solar panels and batteries were a major concern. Quote, lithium batteries, you can't put them out. Just copious amounts of water. So unfortunately, this situation we had to just let them burn because our exposures are our priority right now, Green says. Green says water was an issue given the property's rural location. Quote, we have very little water supply out here, so especially with the commercial structure this big, water is a valuable resource. So right now we have 4 tenders shutting water back and forth, Green says. Crews were able to prevent the fire from spreading to nearby trees, and the Coastal Fire Service was notified of the situation, but wasn't required to respond. Personal thoughts. Fortunately, nobody got hurt, so that was a blessing. But do you think that the products, vehicles, buses, or bikes using lithium batteries are really safe for the public? Something to think about. CTV News, written by Todd Coyne, May 13, 2025. BC drug trafficker sentenced to prison for dial-a-dope operation. In Kelowna, a British Columbia Supreme Court judge was sentenced, a 26-year-old man from India, to 2.5 years in prison for taking part in a so-called, quote, dial-a-dope, quote, operation in Kelowna. Mandeep Pundaha pleaded guilty to possession of cocaine, fentanyl, and parafluorofentanyl for the purpose of trafficking on the day his trial was set to begin last month. Justice Gary Wetherell's reasons for judgment says Pundaha was arrested in May 2022 after police conducted surveillance and watched him coming and going from a suspected drug stash house near the University of British Columbia Okanagan campus in Kelowna. It says officers found 92 packages of drugs on Pundaha at the time of his arrest and later obtained a search warrant for the stash house. The ruling says the search turned up larger quantities of drugs and led to the arrest of 2 other people, one who has been handed a 3-year sentence while the other was deported. The judge also imposed a 10-year firearm ban for Pundaha in order for him to submit a DNA sample to the National Criminal Database and the forfeiture of funds and property that was seized during his arrest. The court documents said that Courtenay had come to Canada on a student visa and intended on taking courses in Ontario. But at some point, he stopped attending university, contrary to the terms of his visa. It says he moved to the Okanagan and joined the Dial-A-Dope operation in the Okanagan. My personal thoughts. Do you think that it would be worthwhile to have further investigations into all universities, as there could be a Canada-wide drug trafficking ring on the university's campuses? Something to think about. Now on to Czech news. May 15, 2025. More supportive housing opens to help homeless in Nanaimo. People living on the streets of Nanaimo are getting a new chance at a roof over their heads with one of 190 new supportive housing units opening in the city. But as Sky Ryan reports, there's concerns it's concentrating help in one area. And now to the video.
I have a thermostat in my room, a bathroom. Pretty cool.
Harold Wilson believes in second chances, and this 62-year-old is living proof that supportive housing can work.
Incredible. Really good.
It took this grandfather, who was homeless for 2 years, put a roof over his head at Nanaimo's Newcastle Place and meals on his table, and now he's working again and grateful for what he has.
What's the future hold for you?
Good things. Really.
Friday, Wilson toured the newest addition to Nanaimo's growing number of supportive housing projects as a success story alongside Nanaimo's mayor and MLA. This BC housing complex at 1300 Island Highway South will open within weeks and offer 50 supportive housing units in these tiny houses with bathroom facilities, washers and dryers, meals and outdoor space, all supervised 24 hours a day with 36 security cameras to monitor what's going on inside its fences.
And the way that it's designed really builds in community safety. That's good for neighbors. That's good for people that have become alienated from supports.
We are standing today in a place of hope.
But for neighbors of the next supportive housing project that's slated to open this summer on Old Victoria Road, just a kilometer from the site being toured Friday, it's putting added strain on already slim community resources.
It's drawing a line between North and South Nanaimo of the haves and have-nots, right? And creating like more wealth disparity. Like we have homeless people in the North End as well.
A further 78 supportive housing units will be opened at the former Travelers Lodge next to Nanaimo's hospital in central Nanaimo this summer, as the province invests $32 million to make a difference in Nanaimo's homeless crisis, and more projects are still slated to come.
My personal thoughts. It is absolutely heartwarming and wonderful to see people who have been homeless, especially this gentleman for over 2 years and a grandfather, finally get a home, a safe home. Under natural law, each and every person who is homeless is to have a home, as it is illegal to have homelessness in the Kingdom of Canada. It's absolutely necessary that each and every community and village and city provides homes for the homeless across the Kingdom of Canada, moving quick, fast, in a hurry. Many people need to have a safe home, and so it is. I am Cindy Lorraine Grais of CLG View Point, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for you being here with me today. It's been such a pleasure. You all are so wonderful, and thank you again for supporting me. Now, I have a video that I produced and wrote, and the pictures are from the lovely province of British Columbia. I hope you enjoy it. Have a wonderful long weekend. I'll be back on Tuesday. Divina Industria, Divine Light, day 22, year 0035, which is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Thank you again, and see you next week.